The Kansas City Chiefs Report is presented by Magic Spoon. Guys, this cereal, I've been telling you guys about it for about a week or so. It is absolutely fantastic. Crushed a bowl for lunch earlier today. Get $5 off your first order at magicspoon.com/Chiefs. We'll have a link in the comments and in the description. 0 grams of sugar, and it's high in protein. It's very healthy. Get in the breakfast game with Magic Spoon. All right, today's show is Chiefs Preseason Grades. I am your host, Harrison Graham. The NFL preseason is over for the Kansas City Chiefs as they finished things off last night with a perfect 3-0 with a 28-25 win over the Minnesota Vikings. So let's hand out some grades for the preseason, and then, of course, the focus will shift to Week 1. Let's start with QB1, Patrick Mahomes. Let's grade his preseason. I'm going to go A- overall. Last night, A++ against the Vikings. Obviously, he played okay in that middle game for Kansas City, but he really ramped it up last night. He's in midseason form. He looks ready to go. I mean, he's healthy. He's moving around. He's slinging sidearm flicks like he's, in the fourth quarter of a crunch time game, dropping dimes to Tyreek Hill in the end zone. That was a thing of beauty over former Chiefs cornerback, not Legarius Sneed. We'll talk about him, though. Bashaud Breeland is who Hill burned on that touchdown. Number 15 is ready to rock and roll. I'm excited. He's ready to go. This Chiefs offense was humming. He played 2 drives last night, and this offense is it's going to be good. It's going to be very, very good, especially with the offensive line and how they've played during the preseason. So A- from Mahomes. Started a little slow earlier in the preseason, but by the end, he was moving like a Ferrari. Predict the score of that Week 1 matchup between the Chiefs and the Browns. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video, so scroll on down, answer right there. What are your score predictions for Week 1 between Kansas City and Cleveland? Let's go to our next player here. That would be Legarius Sneed, the second-year corner. A+. I think he was the standout of the preseason for the Kansas City Chiefs. He might move into superstardom this year. I think Legarius Sneed is a star. How did this guy fall to the 4th round of last year's draft? I have no idea. I think he could be an all-pro corner. He is that good. His ball skills are fantastic. Had another great pass breakup last night in the red zone when the Vikings were driving on their opening possession. He's just good, man. He's a sticky man-to-man corner that really can get the job done at the outside cornerback position. He's long, he's athletic, he's fast, and he's got great ball skills. What else do you want out of your cornerbacks? He's going to be great, and I'm excited. Had a great preseason. If he stays healthy, the sky is the limit for Legarius Sneed. So A+. I think he's been absolutely fantastic. Does Legarius Sneed have all-pro upside? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I absolutely think he does. I don't think there's any reason to believe why he can't be an all-pro in this league. But let me know what you guys think. Y for yes or N for no. Now, today's show is sponsored by our good friends over at Magic Spoon. Get the cocoa flavor. I'm telling you, this stuff is delicious. There's other good flavors as well. Peanut butter, frosted, fruity, whatever is your cup of tea there. And get $5 off this high-protein cereal. 13 to 14 grams of protein per serving. Only 4 grams of net carbs. 0 grams of sugar. When you go to that link below, magicspoon.com/Chiefs, you're going to get $5 off this delicious and healthy cereal. Guys, you're not going to find a better product out there because it tastes as good as the cereal you ate as a kid, but it doesn't have the fattening repercussions of those same cereals. I had to punt on mainstream cereal because it was too high in sugar, but I'm back in the cereal game with Magic Spoon, and you can be as well. Go to magicspoon.com/Chiefs and get $5 off your first order. Let's keep our Chiefs preseason grades rolling here. Jerick McKinnon. I'm going to go A, man. A lot of A's early on here as we're talking about some of the standouts here in the Chiefs preseason. Jerick McKinnon is a playmaker. He's going to have a role on this team, and dare I say, he could be RB2 behind Clyde Edwards-Helaire once he's fully healthy. Do not be shocked. Jerick McKinnon, as a pass catcher, as a runner too, cutting in and out, I've been very impressed with what he has been able to do for Kansas City, and he might challenge Darrell Williams for that RB2 job. All these running backs have performed Obviously, Williams and CEH have been banged up, but Darwin Thompson's had a good preseason. Derek Gore, those guys are on the outside looking in, though, in terms of making the final roster, which we will have a final roster projections video tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But Jerick McKinnon, the guy's played really well. I think some people thought he was done based off all those injuries in recent years. Played just okay for San Francisco last year. Andy Reid has carved out a role for this guy. He's going to play a factor in this Chiefs offense. Who should be RB2? What do you guys think? Type JM for Jerick McKinnon. Type DW for Darrell Williams. Let me know. I think it could go either way, JM for McKinnon or D-Dub for Darrell Williams. 3 more grades to hand out in just a moment, but first, I want to remind you guys to subscribe to us here at the Kansas City Chiefs Report. We're getting closer and closer to 19,000 subscribers thanks to you guys. If you aren't one of the people who have subbed yet, which over 50% of the people who watch our videos have not, I encourage you to do it. Videos almost every single day, the latest news and rumors, and it's 100% free. Who doesn't like free? YouTube.com/ChiefsTV. Take advantage, join the movement, get subscribed to the channel. All right, let's hand out some more grades here. Cornell Powell, the rookie out of Clemson, 5th-round pick. He's a lock to make the roster. I don't know, guys. D+. You would think that 5th-round guys are going to make this team, but I got to tell you, man, Cornell Powell might get cut. And it's not because he's been a disaster. He hasn't been that impressive. He hasn't stood out. He hasn't got as many chances, but I think that's because other guys have simply performed better. You look at the wide receiver depth chart, and you look at the guys who are for sure going to make it. Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman. I think Pringle and Robinson are for sure safe as well. Marcus Kemp deserves a spot on this roster. Had a great touchdown catch last night from Shane Buechele. Doris Fountain has had a great preseason as well. Are you going to carry 7 receivers, get Powell in there also? I don't know. I mean, you could keep Powell over Fountain, but Fountain has performed better. He just has. Cornell Powell has just been all right. You can't keep a dude just because you drafted him in the 5th round. The competition at wide receiver has been real. It's been competitive, and it's going to be a very, very tough next couple of days for Andy Reid and Brett Veach to make some decisions to cut this roster from 80 down to 53. What will happen with Cornell Powell? Type K for keep him, type C for cut. You could cut him and hope he clears waivers and you bring him back on the practice squad, but obviously that could be risky as well. K for keep, C for cut. What's going to happen with the rookie out of Clemson? Speaking of rookies, Shane Buechele, the undrafted free agent out of SMU, B+. I like what I've seen from Shane Buechele. Played a lot of ball in college at Texas and at SMU. Dare I say he should make this football team? And I know most of the 32 NFL teams have maybe decisions to make on 4 or 5 guys. So, 50 through 56 is pretty close. I think the Chiefs have 60-plus guys that are worthy of making this team, but that's just not going to happen. You got to get down to 53. I would keep Shane Buechele, though. I think you've got a real, legitimate, long-term backup option here in him. Obviously, Chad Henne's going to be on this team, barring some last-minute change of heart. I think he's going to be the backup. He didn't even play last night. They let Buechele play a lot, but Buechele got extended work in that game last night, and he played pretty darn well as he has throughout the preseason. That dart he threw to Marcus Kemp on 3rd and 15 for a 26-yard touchdown, that's a damn good throw. That's an NFL throw right there. Like, he can make the throws. He's sneaky mobile. I like Shane Buechele. I would keep him. I would not risk cutting him and having another team poach him because I think that would be a real possibility. All right, final preseason grade, and that's for Chiefs Kingdom, the fans. A+. Come on, this team goes 3-0 in the preseason. The starters look ready to roll. Mahomes was balling out last night. This team is loaded. If you're not fired up for this season, this is the team to beat because the only hole on this roster at the end of last season was the offensive line. The first-team offensive line has been plowing people. So if the Chiefs play their A ball, I don't see how they get beat. Now, I'm not going to get out here and say, oh, they're going to go 20-0 or 23-0. They won their 3 preseason games. But what I will say is they went 14-2 last year with a bad offensive line, and really it was 14-1 because they rested their starters in Week 17, and then they got to the Super Bowl. And I think the team's better this year. This team is absolutely loaded. Good players, like I mentioned, are going to get cut. There are legitimate NFL players that will not make this roster because that's how deep this team is. That's a good problem to have, but man, the amount of talent on this team right now is absolutely ridiculous. So speaking of which, because we'll drop our roster projection video tomorrow, our final one, which player on the bubble should make the Chiefs' final roster? You think of guys like Shane Buechele, Tim Ward, Cornell Powell, Doris Fountain, Marcus Kemp. There's several others as well. Yasir Durant may not make this team, and I think he's a quality offensive lineman. It's going to be tough. Name a player that comes to mind that you would like to see make this roster. And like I said, we'll have that video tomorrow, our final 53-man roster projection. So stay tuned, be subscribed, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. Be on the lookout for that, and of course, more videos in the coming days and weeks. That's all for now. We'll see you soon here on the Chiefs Report.